Hello guys, so welcome to our new tutorial on C++ programming. In the last tutorial, we discussed some of the concepts in C++ like what is reference variable, how we can use the reference variable, what is dynamic initialization, how we can use the dynamic initialization in our C++ program. So here I came up with another function in C++, that is inline function, how we can use inline function in C++. So first, let's understand what is inline function. An inline is a function that is expanded in line when it is invoked. That means that the function that is defined will be expanded in line when it is called. Whenever we call that function, then the function will be expanded in a line. I know you didn't understand that. Let me explain. That means the compiler replaced the function call with the corresponding function code. Again, you don't understand, I know. So what inline function does is that whenever we call a function that we made it as inline function, the compiler converts the function call into the corresponding statements or the function code that is in that function. So instead of going through the procedure that what are the statements in the function, it just replaces the function call with the code inside it. So it saves your lot of time and memory space. So these inline functions are used to save memory space, which is needed when a function is likely to be called many times. Suppose there is a function, there is for loop, that is it will be called again and again till the condition is not violated. Okay, so it will take lots of memory because to print a single statement it has to go with all the instructions in it. So it will take time, it will slow down the execution process. So in order to convert this situation into a meaningful one, we use inline function to save memory space. Every time a function is called, it takes a lot of extra time in executing a series of instructions that is there, such as jumping to a call or saving registers. What that means? See, our computer learns only machine language, that is the language which is in the form of 0 and 1. So our computer use registers. Registers are the memory space in which we stores value. Our whole execution process goes through with these registers. So whenever we call a function, it takes a lot of time because it will take up the memory, it will store in the register, then do the arithmetic operation and manipulation in that register, then print out the statement using that registers. So it will take a lots of time. So your inline function is based on a simple concept. And what is that? If there are less instruction in the function, the execution will be fast. As simple as that. Means in your function, if there are less instruction, the execution will be fast because compiler won't have to read the statement again and again. There will be less statement, so the execution will be fast. So this is the basis of inline function. This is what inline function does. So how we can define these inline functions? First, inline is a keyword. We use inline and your function name, that is function header. Then your again, like the simple function, there will be a function body. For example, we define a function that is of type double as inline. Okay, so we made that function cube inline in which the parameter passed is again of type double. Okay, float double. Okay. Now the function body, see here, the function body contain only return, that is return a star a star a, that is 3 times a. So this is just a small function that is an inline function. So what it does, whenever our compiler calls this function like cube, so instead of calling this function, it will just print out the value that is in there, return a star a star a. So the compiler now just converts the function call into the function code. It just converts the function call into function code. That was what I meant there. So this is the basic function of inline functions. So this function, that is inline double cube double a, return this, will be used as how we can manipulate it. Just use a third variable like c, and we can pass the values, the parameters in the function cube as 3.0. So what will be the value? We just pass the value there. The value which is returning to us in C will be 3 times of this, means 3 star 3 star 3, that is 27. So this is how inline function is used, is defined and declared. It just increase the execution of our program. So this is the basic formula of inline function. So there are some points that you need to keep in your mind to go with this function. And what are these? First, functions are made inline only when they are small enough to be defined in one or more lines. What that means? It means, let's look at this function. The function is defined and declared in only 2 lines or maybe a single line, so its execution will be as fast as possible. But when the statements in the function body keeps on increasing, then the inline function will lose its advantage. So it won't be of much benefit. It will work as a simple your function. It won't be returning value as fast as it is returning now. So the reason behind this is that it will take more memory space. So more memory means more registers. Again, the value will be passed to the registers. It will take up the value of the register back. So in between these process, the execution time will be slow. So the functions are made inline only when they are small enough to be defined in one or more lines. So keep in mind. And again, the points to remember is that what are the situations where we cannot use inline functions. We cannot use inline function in a loop. We cannot use in for loop, switch, go to, because it will take more memory space, and inline function won't be as useful as it was just before, where there are one or more lines, that's it. And third one is, we cannot use inline functions in case of static variable. Static variable, I will cover a separate tutorial on this. We cannot use inline functions in these scenarios. Okay, so I guess you got some of the points in your mind, how inline function works, what is the use of inline function, where we should not use inline functions. So let's use that function in a simple program. Okay.